Okay, now it's working.
Final report of the commercial starship Nostromo. Third officer reported.
You should be happy I paused Evil Dead Rise to watch this. I mean, this is better than
The
Evil
other
Dead
members
Rise.
of the crew. Kane,
Good to see you, Buffy.
Lambert, Parker,
Should I move over
Brett.
I mean, you can watch either one. It doesn't matter.
Ash, and Captain Dallas are dead.
Ripley!
Cargo and ship destroyed.
Ripley!
I fixed it. We missed these opening credits, Robert.
6 weeks.
Ah.
With a little luck, the
Oh,
network
yeah.
will
Do you want to
beat me
return
up.
to your point, or did you already give your spiel?
This is Ripley.
What were we
last
talking
survivor
about?
of the Nostromo.
Hey,
I
she said the
said-
thing. She said the thing.
I said, how do you think people respond to this premise if it's a movie first? You said
Yes.
we live in a society.
We live in a society. No. We live in a society that just loves to bitch and complain about everything.
This is true.
Ripley?
Like, have you? I don't want to come off mean as for my next point.
I work for the company.
She said it. She said it.
It's about your mother.
But have you watched the Red Letter Media review of Alien Romulus yet?
I didn't watch all of it, but I started it.
A commercial vessel.
In space, no one can hear you. Stream was right there. Ah, Noah's right. It was right there.
Unit of the Nostromo.
No. Okay, we're starting over again.
But
Reticular.
10 years ago, they would have loved this movie. That movie.
We don't know.
But now, being a love letter to the franchise means your script comes off as AI generated.
Proprietorial material, so the company wants it to be collected. As
Yeah,
soon as
well,
possible.
part of what I heard Jay say that it felt more like a fan
Sevastopol's
film,
a supply depot. in the
which
region.
I can see his
So,
point of view on, and
Permanent free port.
I know what it
Sevastopol.
is.
Best looking fan film I have ever seen.
sure.
Transit's arranged.
And they said
There's a
it
courier
looked good
ship called the
aesthetically.
Torrens heading out that way in
Um,
2 days.
Would they have loved it 10 years
We're going
ago?
to
I
travel
don't know.
out.
Maybe.
Me
The thing
and
with
another
them
exec.
is they are in the camp of
You,
they just wish they would
if you're
stop. Because they've had a weird history reviewing these movies ever since Prometheus and then
Look,
Covenant.
Ripley,
And I'm not like
when this
surprised that
job
they didn't
came
like.
across my desk, I read.
I'm a little surprised Jay didn't, because it touches on a lot of that same stuff that like Prometheus did.
While you're working. In
Noah says they don't. He doesn't think they would have loved it 10 years ago. I mean, I don't mean literally 10 years ago. I just mean,
Still looking.
I don't know. I feel like they were letting their cynicism imply things about the movie that I don't think are there.
If you want to come along.
I mean, to be fair, I've disagreed with them on many a new film.
Maybe.
Right, and
you know,
that's why I say I don't want to come off mean on this, because like it's whatever, they can think what they think. But I'm just using that as a representation of like, if this movie had come out 10 years ago or maybe 15 years ago, people wouldn't be throwing around, oh, fan film, AI generate, AI script.
Yeah. I think that's fair. However, just knowing their sensibilities, you have to keep in mind that, they really hated Rogue One. And I mean, I like that movie. A lot of people like that movie, but a lot of the things they hate about Rogue One are in this movie. So when I got that comparison, like, I got it. I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised that they didn't like this. Even if I disagree with them a little on Rogue One, because I do like it. But, there are things that movie does that this one does too.
Noah says I'm
So,
with them on a lot of the criticism, just not as negative on it. I think the first half is stronger than the last half. Oh, see, I think I like the second half better. Then that's also when it turns to schlock, and I love schlock.
Yeah. I'd have to watch. There's a lot I like about the first half. Are we gonna give heavy spoilers, or do you want me to dance around it?
We will say, how long has that movie been out?
Like a little over a week.
We'll say we're gonna do we'll do most spoilers. No, it's time for me to watch some trash. Hell yeah. I think Austin's gonna fill in for Mr. I can't come to the thing that I insisted we do.
Woo! I'm gonna try to make it. I'm just 50-50.
I'm just giving you shit. Dude, when you're in a stressful situation, that delay in the saves can be heart attack. Let's shower before we get dressed this time. Buffy says she hasn't seen it. Are you gonna watch it though? Like, I didn't think you cared.
I don't know. Speaking as someone who did like Romulus, if I could change one thing about the movie, there is a CGI character that really
no, and that is the worst.
And I wish they didn't do that.
That is the worst thing about the movie.
Yeah, and I feel like we can all agree on that. I haven't seen a whole lot of people defend that.
I know. I said just watching it, I was like, this should be Fassbender.
Yep.
But no,
or
so
just a new character.
Yeah, but I mean, you get the Prometheus connections.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to rewrite it. Like, you'd have to make that work. But I don't disagree with you.
Taylor, good morning.
Ripley,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
certainly
You
not
won't
good.
watch it, Buffy.
I very much
Like,
doubt it's morning either.
I don't know. It's just, it baffles
I
me
feel like death.
that,
I don't know how you people put up with hypersleep regularly.
I mean, I guess, more so I can see the last bit of Romulus being
Most people's legs
divisive.
don't travel further than the coffee machine.
But like, I don't know.
I'm
You
surprised Weyland-Yutani felt the need to send legal
10 years
at all.
ago, this would have been called a love letter to the franchise.
The company a lot of money. It's important we find
I
out
think
what
that's
happened.
incorrect. I
If I
think
can
there's
close the
certainly
case
a
with a
factor in
conclusive
people
accident
getting
report, it'll look great with
sick
my
of
superiors.
requels and soft reboots, and I mean, like this. How I felt coming out of it, and you can take this as good or bad, is it does feel
Have
like
fun,
both
though.
The Force Awakens.
We'll
It
both
feels
get
like
what
both The
we
Force
want, right?
Awakens and the Rogue One of Alien movies.
Have you seen Samuel's?
And you know, there's a
Oh,
lot
so
to
the
like
only
about
two
that.
good Star Wars
I'll catch
movies
up
from
with
the Disney era.
Yeah, but if you don't like those movies, then you're probably not gonna like this. So, I
I don't know if I agree with Rogue One, or not Rogue One, Force Awakens, because it's not trying to reboot anything.
That right, but once you get to the ending, in terms of just how much iconography it repeats, and it's like, oh, it's doing this scene again, it's doing this beat again. I was a little okay. What's weird
guess,
is the big divisive thing people have with the ending is a certain creature that pops up, and I don't know, I didn't mind that element. It does something
I
weird and
loved
different.
that.
It's an alien movie. I don't know why that's the. As someone who has many issues with this movie, I find it weird that that's like the other divisive thing. Because this franchise has done weird stuff like this before. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I don't make more movies weird. Like,
Right.
this has been a good year for just weird shit.
Mm-hmm. That's
Immaculate,
also why I found...
First Omen, this,
Mm.
and two of those
I
were
don't know.
Fox movies.
I don't know if you saw this. There was a tweet from somebody who I don't know that I reposted who really didn't like this movie in their review, and also said it was lacking the psychosexual weirdness that makes the franchise interesting, and called it bland and safe. And I'm like,
Did we
okay,
watch
I
the
don't
same
see
movie?
that. Like, there's some weird shit in this movie.
And I mean,
And I
let's
was
be
fine with it.
honest. Let's be honest. Even in the original movies, some of that stuff is toned down a little bit.
Yeah, or just inferred.
Yeah.
But this is, it's not the goriest movie of the year, but it is a hard R. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a super safe.
Samuels.
I don't know if you have this that I have, but I'm always with that stuff. Show me the weird shit. I want to see weird shit on screen.
I
do it
realize it's a
practically.
very similar model to.
Then
If-
Yes,
Yes, M-Class.
for the most part. I'm fine with CGI if it's something that just
I've
can't
worked
be done.
engineering jobs on ships like this.
Yeah, and that's why
Is
the
Taylor-
CGI character
She's
bothers
not a
me
seasoned
extra,
traveler.
because the
Hypersleep thing.
defense of that is, well, you have to go
We talked.
use CGI
She
for
seems
that.
nervous.
And I say,
I
no,
hadn't noticed.
look at the
She's a skilled
animatronic
executive, though.
of a certain
Should
character
help
in
us
Alien
with any
3, and that
legal
looks
issues we
amazing.
might
You
encounter.
absolutely could have done that practically if you had to do that.
Or
Or
don't bring the dead back to life.
Yes, and that's the other ick factor. Is like, oh come on, we're doing this again with.
So like, okay, so I don't know about you, but I have discovered that I have a very solid line with that stuff. If it is an actor that is alive and can consent, like Mark Hamill or James Earl Jones, go for it if they give their permission. If the guy's dead, just let him be. And I don't know if you know this, but apparently that was Ridley Scott.
Hope you all had a
He is
restful
Alien's
day.
own worst enemy.
Collins is in very good order for an old Empire
This is true.
She was a wreck when I bought her. Took a few years and a lot of contracts to refit. She pays for herself now.
This is such an
You said
odd
we're approaching
franchise.
Sevastopol Station. Are we docking?
I believe your contact is Marshall Waits, is that right? I'll hail Sevastopol and arrange boarding with him.
Now I know this game was a hit when
Let's
it
get
came
this
out.
done.
Do you think it's built
We're in
popularity
this
over time?
routine. In
Because
and
I'm
out.
surprised how much this
Connor,
game is
how we
still
doing?
popular.
I think it's gotten, so there's two things.
Prep comm so I can
Because
say
I don't know if you know this, but this gold game sold like
Does
shit.
everyone have their briefing?
That's why we
Okay.
didn't get a
You can
sequel.
watch the approach on the monitors.
Okay.
But it's become available through like PS Plus, Xbox Game Pass. You know, you've had Steam sales for like $1. So it's definitely built a following, but it's not like, you know, it's not Resident Evil levels of popular, but it has a very vocal fan
Can we
base.
see it?
Switch to monitors. Sevastopol Station.
And this game comes out at a weird time. This is what, between
Looks like
Prometheus and Covenant?
Punch up 74, tight angle.
Yeah, this is 2014.
Looks like the dry dock bay is screwed.
Yeah, something like that. 2013.
I can't bring the
2014.
Torrens into the
Well,
it's
and
just
people
kinda-
still had the bad taste of Colonial Marines.
Right. Oh god, that really.
Did you see that movie?
No, I saw that didn't help.
You're holding the
Yeah.
Nostromo flight recorder unit.
No, because
You
people were
request
like, "Oh
immediate
God, they're making
permission to
another
transfer the
Alien
passengers
game."
port side over.
Mm.
Now people are like, "Please make another Alien game."
Yeah, because this is just kind of a weird limbo state of the franchise, and now it's like, holy shit, we have a new movie and it's a big hit, but
Well, and I don't know if you know this.
successful.
I don't know if you know this. This game ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I was
Um,
pissed.
but you go back to the mid '90s to the mid 2000s, and Alien Fever is pretty huge. You know, we get several movies, lots of comics, lots of video games. You know, this was kind of a bit past like
Safe
a
trip.
really big Alien craze. You know what I mean?
Stand by. My contract doesn't cover.
Like if they had
Space
the
Force.
technology to
That's
make
the
this
only
game
option.
like 5 to
It's
10
perfectly
years
safe if you do it
earlier, I think this is huge, you know, and really revolutionary and popular.
The problem is, I don't know if you know this because you didn't follow. I just assume you don't follow the gaming trends as much as I do. So this is the tail end of the PS3 into the PS4. The PS3 generation was the generation where AAA studios decided that nobody wanted horror games, even though there was a very loud audience that wanted horror games.
Mhm.
So Resident Evil went to action. We didn't have any more Silent Hills. Dead Space ran itself into the ground. I don't think this game was ever going to be successful in a realistic time frame of when this game would come out. Or because I can see both sides. It would have been exactly what we wanted at the time that the studios just didn't think we wanted, and would have sold like hotcakes.
Maybe.
But it's a miracle this game came out at all, because I don't. So that stigma with the horror franchise genre in gaming doesn't end until like RE2 came out. Because like Evil Within also didn't do very well.
I think of, well, you mentioned the RE2 remake. I was thinking more like Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, that's true. I
when
forgot
people
that
are
came
like,
out first.
yes, because people are like, yes, it's a horror game again. Finally, that was
So-
what dominated the conversation.
So 7 is what brings Resident Evil back to its roots. 2 is the one that really hit the like mainstream, like, at least to my knowledge. Like 7 starts to kind of get back to that, and obviously fans of the franchise are happy, but it did have its detractors saying, oh, you know, it's not Resident Evil anymore, it's just Silent Hill. Stuff like that. Resident Evil 2 Remake is the one where everybody's like, oh yeah, like horror is back in games. Now the narrative has shifted, like, oh, you know, Resident Evil 7 was always good. I think it's okay. It's what we needed at the time, but it's not very fun to replay. I've played that so many times that I know where all the jump scares are, so they don't scare me anymore. Which isn't the game's fault, but still. Come get your scrap. But I mean, even now, like... Oh, shit. Original, like, horror games are hard to find an audience for. Which, okay, so I don't know if you... I feel like I've said this a bunch, but I don't know if you have this. Nothing annoys me more than when I hear people complaining that there's nothing original in Hollywood or games anymore. You know why there's not? Because none of you people fucking buy them.
Yep. Oh, I've been singing this song for years. So many original movies come out a year. You just need to watch them.
Yeah. Or, oh, you want a new IP in a video game? Go buy it. Put your money where your mouth is. Like, I had this one friend say, I sent them something about some remake that was coming out, and they were like, I would just like one original idea, please. And I just sent her a list of all of the original movies that had come out this year that I know they haven't watched. What's the counter argument?
Well, because people will say, well, but they don't get the biggest budgets or all the marketing, you know, I don't know about them. And it's like, well, if what you're craving is something original, then just do some blind watches, you know, just go to the movie theater, see a title that looks interesting that you don't recognize, and just buy a ticket for that if you're that obsessed with seeing something original.
So my response to that is, spend the time that you're spending bitching to me about it to, you know, do some research.
Yes.
Turn on Netflix, turn on Hulu, turn on Max.
Mm-hmm. There are no shortage of options.
Like, more movies are coming out than ever before. People just don't care unless it's an IP. Oh shit.
We're fine. This is supposed to happen.
That's gonna hurt in the morning. You know, like, I like an IP movie as much as the next guy. Deadpool 3 is one of my favorite movies of the year. My favorite movie of the year is an A24 low-budget giallo film. No, and I like the more I think about it, the more I like Deadpool and Wolverine. I really want to rewatch it.
Oop. Well, and part of the charm of the Alien franchise, or part of what makes it unique, is it's weirdly consistent in that there's always like 7 years between movies. You know, it's always been consistent in, like, we get a couple of these per decade. We might get one pretty soon after what a big hit Romulus was, but you know, it's like it comes back,
Disney.
then it goes away for a while, then it comes back.
Yeah, I wonder, because they didn't rush Prey 2, or whatever that's going to end up being called.
That's true. That was also a Hulu movie. This has made actual money, and it's like, oh shit, there's money in that.
Isn't it shocking?
Man. Yeah, also, not a bad year for R-rated movies.
We have a new highest grossing rated R movie of all time.
Yep, and Deadpool and Wolverine. Maxine turned a profit. Alien Romulus is doing really well. And then
I feel like
Longlegs.
Immaculate did pretty good.
Immaculate, I think, did okay. And then you have Longlegs, which made like $100 million. I don't know how that happened, but I'm glad it did.
Don't tell me it didn't happen. I saw it happen.
It's just like bizarre to remember a decade ago when Hollywood just wouldn't make R-rated movies because they didn't think people wanted to see them, that they would make money.
If anyone in the
And look where we
storerooms
are.
should be able to find it, the code is 0340.
0340.
Harris, Turner, get back here now. We have a track somewhere in engineering. Lock the terminal down, kill the power, and don't forget your reports. Make them thorough. We're gonna need our paperwork to be bulletproof when this shit's over.
Oh god, there's
Wake
people.
up.
No, what's impressive about this game, although maybe to its detriment a little bit at times, is this game takes its time. It establishes things.
All about mood and atmosphere, man.
Yeah, like, remember Alien when this was a moody and atmospheric franchise? Thank you, Robert. Where's the storage? Oh god. Oop.
You're fine.
It's all fine.
What the hell happened here?
It's just funny looking at, you know, what a big hit Romulus is, and then you rewind 10 years ago when we pull up the plug on a new Friday the 13th movie because Rings doesn't do well. The sequel to The Ring everyone asked for. It's like, oh, I guess people don't care about old R-rated properties. That's the lesson.
Friday the 13th, I'm telling you, would make a shit ton of money if you brought it back now.
Yeah, you don't just spent like $5 million on it.
Damn it!
Yeah.
It costs nothing. And it's funny looking at Deadpool Wolverine making $1 billion when, God, remembering a time a decade ago when it was such a fight just to get an R-rated Deadpool movie made or an R-rated Wolverine movie made. How much Fox resisted doing that. And look at them now.
Look at you now, boy. Well, I mean, to be fair, like, that the Deadpool and Wolverine team up is much better because it's under the Disney umbrella, and they went, yeah, be as comic booky as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, that light is so bright. What is happening in my ear? Like, good lord.
Don't go into the lights, sir.
Like, that's part of why I like 3 over the first 2, is it's not, like, pretentious about the meta stuff. It actually has something to say with it. And it's just so damn comic booky.
Yeah, that's true.
Druia Jones, today's update. After numerous demands, Marshal Waits finally called a public meeting to address the rumors that have been circulating on Sevastopol.
We got Laura, Robert.
But instead of the answers we wanted, he continued to be evasive.
like lore.
And after only a few minutes, he and his team were pelted by projectiles from an angry crowd. A gun was fired, there was
And everyone's scared. Robert pissed himself earlier.
forcibly ejecting us from the terminal.
It's
Seems
true.
like we're on our own now.
Do you believe there's arcade machines in the Alien universe?
Are you talking about the new one?
No, the Alien machine. The arcade machines that I'm looking at.
Oh, is that what those are? Okay.
Keep
Isn't
up,
there
Robert.
something like that? Isn't there something like that in Resurrection?
Not that
I
I
feel like
know
there's a
of.
scene where somebody's playing a video game and it looks real weird. I don't know.
Jake
It's like,
says,
is that going...
fair, I keep a pee bucket next to me when I play this.
It's like, is that going too far with the retro analog technology, or does it fit? I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm gonna show how dumb I can be at times. Did we have arcade machines in the 70s? That's an 80s thing, right?
I think of it as an 80s thing. It probably, I mean, like, Pong starts. So yeah, there are probably some like early arcade machines in the 70s. Also, Alien 79. You know.
Yeah.
We're at the tail end of the 70s.
Man, 78 and 79 were just great years for film. I have this weird relationship with 70s films, I find, where like I like a lot of the ones that I've seen, but I can also just, it's like right at the cusp of like, this is just gratuitous enough for me to enjoy it versus, yeah, I'm just kind of playing it safe. We're not quite at the cusp of the 80s where we can just do whatever the hell we want. Unless you're Friday the 13th, in that case you can't do anything.
Yeah, when you get too popular, then you get restrictions.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
So one unfortunate thing about this game is you do get weapons. And at one point you get a flamethrower, and then it just makes the alien encounters easy. But what I was gonna say with Romulus is I have this more than you because just based on your reaction to the movie. Whereas Romulus is kind of the sequel I want to Alien. Aliens is a better movie, so I'm like conflicted.
Yeah, I've also never had that resistance to the direction Aliens takes. I've always loved Aliens. It wasn't until I was older that I even knew it was kind of divisive with fans.
Well, I remember as a kid, everybody said it was the sequel that improved on the original, and I don't know what the hell they were talking about.
I mean, it was, the fan favorite for a while, and I get it if you just prefer action, but a lot of people think the Colonial Marines are out of place, and I don't know, they're goofy, but we didn't see Marines in the first movie. I don't know.
I don't have a problem with, like... I don't have a problem with any of the characters in that movie. Hell, I like most of them. I just think if you're gonna do that, I don't know. I don't like the idea of just turning them into bugs. And, I think if you're gonna do something that action heavy, it should have been maybe 2 or 3 movies in it. Like 3 or 4 movies in. Oh, God.
That's fair. There's also a long gap between movies.
That's true.
And I don't know, like but a big part of the movie though is that they're at least still a little smart. They cut the power, they're sneaking around. Yeah, there are a couple sequences where they're just kind of throwing themselves and getting shot at them, but a big part of the movie is just how overwhelmed and unprepared these guys are. Because some people think the movie's too like macho or whatever, and it's like
that just feels like a modern reinterpretation of the movie.
It's like most of them get killed in 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, I don't have problems with Aliens as a movie. In fact, I think if you keep that daughter line in, it's a great movie. I just don't know if it's the natural sequel to Alien.
Yeah, I'm not even saying you're wrong. I've just never had that perspective on it.
Yeah, for sure. Hello, I need a light. But no, what I love is that this really recaptures that like analog sci-fi horror feel of the first one. That I don't think any of the sequels have much. Because 3 doesn't even really have much technology. 2 is more focused on oorah.
Hey.
Hello.
Speaking
Jesus
of
fucking Christ.
What?
Scared the shit out of me. I didn't hear you join the call.
Oh my god, it's Alien.
Yeah, I'm the alien. Hello.
What's up, Boston?
What is your aliens from Eastern Europe?
Whoa, 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 you fucking bigot. Do you have a problem with that? But I am good. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad. We were just talking about Aliens, your favorite movie.
Yeah, I popped in for a second before I jumped in to see what you guys were talking about. I was just watching. They just released the trailer for the first of those two Halloween games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And it looks great.
Is it the Pixel one or?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
that and Evil Dead are like combined into like one game.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I heard about the Evil Dead one as like a old school like 16-bit game. That looked pretty fun.
Yeah, it's like a 2-pack, I guess, and one of them is Evil Dead, Ash vs. the Evil Dead, the other is Halloween. And you like run around as Michael Myers. Looks really cool.
That's cool. When I was a kid, I had a phone game of Army of Darkness, where it was like a side-scroller tower defense game where you play as Ash and just fight and shoot deadites, and I play the thing a lot. And then they took it off the App Store.
My first cell phone that I had in high school came with Shrek 2, the game. And it was a side-scroller, and it was clearly just Sonic. Like, Shrek, he, like, rolled up into a ball, and he would like, spin around. And it's like, what the fuck does this have to do with Shrek? It's just Sonic. And, like, Shrek would run really fast.
That sounds great.
Yeah, he's just like, donkey, I'm rolling. I don't know. I don't get it.
So, do we still not know much about that other Halloween game?
Yeah.
The only thing we know is John Carpenter is involved in some capacity.
Ooh. Carpenter's involved with both of them apparently to some capacity, which means that he probably was playing Sonic in the background, and they were like, "Is this cool?" And he was like, "Yeah, looks fine."
Well, and then he's got that other game coming out too.
Well, sorry. He was playing Sonic, and then he reached over and they put a check in his hand.
Yes. I would love if Carpenter put out a Halloween game where it's just Sonic. And Michael
Oh my
Myers
god, yeah.
just,
Well, I want it to be Laurie, like you're Laurie and you spin around, and then you get to the end of like the third stage of like the first world or whatever, and then Michael Myers flies up to you in like his car, and then you gotta jump on his head.
I would play the
Oh, it would be a sweet game.
So Austin, you've played this. I know we've talked about it before. Did you like buy this on just a blind buy, or like were you excited about this game?
I don't remember, to be honest. I think I just picked it up when it was on sale.
So you're part of the reason this game didn't get a sequel. I see.
Yeah, apparently.
It's all your fault, Austin. You single-handedly could have gotten Alien Isolation 2 made.
I mean, hey, they made a sequel.
I mean, a real sequel.
But yeah, one, like I said, I'm just going off memory, so I don't even fully remember offhand. But like, I feel like I picked it up just kind of afterwards.
Well, one thing I was talking earlier about how this game just comes out at a weird time for this franchise. It's like between Prometheus and Covenant. It feels like there's just not a lot of hype for it 10 years ago. Because, you know, back in the 90s to the early 2000s, like, Alien Fever is huge. You know, there's all these comics and games. And
when it sold well,
movies,
it's not as much as they expected. Like, they had unrealistic expectations, which is a very Sega move.
I mean, that's the peak of, that's the beginning of like a lot of those, especially Japanese companies expecting games to sell twice more than what is realistically possible.
Yeah, like let's see, how much did Alien Covenant or Alien Isolation sell?
How much did Alien Covenant sell?
God damn it! I even typed in Covenant. My God.
Got you all into a lot of trouble. Someone's gonna
So
be
it sold
damn
2.11 million copies when it came out.
No?
Yeah, that's not that bad. That's not bad. I mean, it's not amazing,
Turn
but
off the tape.
No, it's not amazing, but like
Maybe our friend
it's not
is
awful.
just shy.
yeah.
That Sega was like, "Why did they sell 40 million?"
Square Enix was really bad about that with those Tomb Raider games. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Well, and that's why the Hitman people like divorced themselves from Square Enix because they're like Square Enix are a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah, because I think that first Tomb Raider reboot sold like 3-4 million copies.
Yeah,
And they were like, "Oh, it didn't sell to our expectations." So their response was, "Let's only put it on the Xbox One that is selling worse than the competition." Oh wait, nobody bought it? Okay, a year later it'll come to PS5, PS4. And it wasn't even as good as the first one. Oh, it's so easy to get lost in this game.
yeah. If you're bad,
Okay,
but
at
least they put out a trilogy pack
Yeah.
of Tomb Raider. I still gotta get that. It looks really good.
Oh, have you not played the sequels?
But no, I'm talking about the. Well, I've only played a little bit of the second one of the new trilogy, but I'm talking about the original trilogy pack they put out this year.
Oh yeah. I have that. I still haven't gone through it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play that.
Turn around. Come on!
It looks like my favorite kind of remaster because it has the original game in it as well.
Yeah, cool. No, I mean it's a good remaster.
No ships.
Yeah, it's got, if you don't know, Robert, it's got the, I don't know if you played the Halo ones, that Master Chief Collection or whatever, but it has the thing, okay, so in that, there's like a button you can press and it turns on the original graphics and you can switch back and forth, and they have that for that new Tomb Raider, except it also flips back to the original, like, tank controls.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I have the remake of the Crash trilogy, and I don't think they do that for the maps, but you can do the skin of him in like the old PlayStation 1 graphics. So that was neat.
Well, it wouldn't have worked for that because like that is built from the ground up, so like the physics are all wrong.
Not a remaster.
Yeah. That's why, and I mean, even in terms of remake stuff, like that's why over Crash and Spyro, my favorite of like the PS1 remake things was the medieval one, because that one, it's like the exact same game, and then when you get to, there's like a certain point where they introduce a new side mission that wasn't in the original. And your reward for beating that side mission is it just unlocks the original game in the menu.